In a not so shocking turn of events, Melonie Mac wants to push her extreme, puritanical, wackadoodle, religious, Christian, conservative ideology on everyone, including people in her own space. So now she is doing this to people in her own bubble. And this does not surprise me at all. It might surprise these guys. It doesn't surprise me. I have been calling her out on this stuff for at least a year. At least a year. Most likely longer than that. You can check my channel. The receipts are there. I've said this. I've seen this coming. What is surprising to me, though, is that the people in her space are just now seeing this. So it makes me question the actual perception of the people in that community. So either you are completely oblivious to this kind of stuff infiltrating your bubble, or you put up with it because she is useful to you. That's what's happening here. You either just allowed it to happen because Melonie Mac was useful to you by being a woman in this space, agreeing with everything you said, so you were willing to overlook all of this. So that was one option. Or the other one is you didn't see it coming, which then makes me question every observation you've ever had about anything. I'm just saying. In this video, we're going to go over the drama. We're going to go over some receipts of things that Melonie Mac has done. And then I want to talk about the accusation that Melonie Mac is a grifter or a scammer, because I get a lot of pushback on that. But I think this particular case will prove that when I say it or when it is mentioned, there is a reason to believe that someone would be those things. So Melonie Mac here, we're not going to read this article from Fandom Pulse because they actually charge you to read their articles now. So it's even less of a reason to go over and read anything from them. John F. Trent, another grifter in the space. Melonie Mac says that get the perverts out of gaming, and games based on lustful intent lack substance. Now, I hadn't even seen this article until I saw Ethan Van Sciver's repost of this particular image and his comments on it. And he's not happy with it either. He's not happy with it. But there are some people that are defending it. You have Razorfist here, and Melonie Mac retweeted this, saying, the gaming culture war has more options than woketivist proselytism versus Korean Coomer bait. We can, in fact, insist on good games that are not spiritually caustic or degenerate. No credible person would shoot the Christian messenger for pointing out this self-evident fact. Now, the issue with this is this goes against a lot of the standards of the people within the community that folks like Razorfist and Melonie Mac are a part of, which are communities that don't believe in censorship of art at any cost. There are people like Hypnotic who made videos about this, who also is absolutely confused on Melonie Mac and the position she's taking here based on their interactions. Melonie Mac is streamed with Az, one of the most sexually disgusting people on the streaming space. She streamed with him. Getting back to this though, the idea that there needs to be some sort of censorship on the way characters look in gaming, or let's include comic books, movies, TV shows, cartoons, or whatever. Most of the people in that community that these guys have associated with would push back against that and say they should be able to draw and like anything they want. So to have someone like Razorfist or Melonie Mac coming along saying that you're going to be called perverts or degenerates because you enjoy looking at sexy things, it causes like a malfunction in the brain of that community because they don't understand how they got here. For me, it's very obvious how you got here. It's very obvious. You have been so distracted by fighting wokeness and DEI and diversity that you did not realize that a portion of the people that you associate with have been pushing this puritanical view of media all along, and you guys have not had to worry about it because for so long you have been in the trenches fighting the culture war. And now we're back to this. Now we're back to the actual goal. This is something your community has to wrestle with. This is something that you guys have to deal with. Because we've called this out. We saw this already. You guys so often tell us that we don't call out people in our own community, which is bullshit. I've done it before, plenty of times. But you folks would buddy up with people like Razorfist and Melonie Mac because it is beneficial to you. And as long as you had that aligned view, that funnel in your ideology, as long as that existed, you were able to keep the facade up for as long as you needed to. And now that facade is breaking down. Because now that you guys feel empowered, there's going to be a power struggle within this community on which group has the actual best ideas. And you're going to have people like this, JDA, John F. Trent, Razorfist, Melonie Mac, other people that support this, who are going to push for this puritanical view of everything. And then all of these other guys that just wanted to see sexy women and stuff and less diversity, all of those guys are going to have to struggle with the fact that these folks were in bed with you the whole time. You helped these guys. You assisted these guys. So you brought them along. You grabbed their hand and pulled them along with you because you needed the numbers and you needed the legitimacy of having them there. Especially people like Melonie Mac. That's the reality of it. But she has streamed with people like Hypnotic. She has streamed with people like Heel versus Babyface. She's been in these spaces. And this brings me to my comments about grifter versus ideology, true believers, naivety, things like that. So Melonie Mac has posted under some of these comments saying that she has changed because of God, because there's videos of her saying different things. There's tweets of her saying different things that would make you believe otherwise, which is why a lot of people think she would be a grifter. But then a lot of people are like, no, she's a true believer, 100%. So there's only two paths possible in this situation. And I'm going to tell you why I believe one is more likely than the other. So you have Melonie Mac, who is someone that has either been indoctrinated by religious extremists. She's been indoctrinated by this extreme ideology that now has her acting so wackadoodle about all this that she's enforcing this on everybody else because she has been indoctrinated, truly indoctrinated. That's the one choice. The other choice is she knows what she's doing and she's placing herself in a position to maximize platforming and money out of this, which would be aligning herself with people like Heel versus Babyface, with Hypnotic, with a lot of these other streamers who are perverts or degenerates by her definition. She would align herself with those guys in order to amplify what she does. She's also F-slurred in many videos. She's talked about the fact that she's a victim from being banned from platforms, even though she knowingly does things that cause herself to get banned. So you have two options there. Either she is just completely indoctrinated and she truly believes all of these things that she's saying, and just by chance, by circumstance, she happened to align herself with people that she would consider perverts and degenerates on social media. Just by chance that happened. And then she decides to block them all and move on after for some reason the platform and her clout has increased by being associated with them. But she just decides to block them and move on. Either that happened or she knowingly did everything that she did specifically to get where she is, to get the following she has, to get the clout she has, to get the outreach that she has. She knowingly did it. So it either makes her an indoctrinated person who is a victim of religious extremists, or she is someone who is grifting and scamming and making money by doing this. Those are the only two options. Here's a tweet from her. I lost a lot of followers on this topic, but I'm not afraid to speak out against perverts, queer, or straight in quotations, which means that she is, I guess, insinuating that some of the people that she is associated with who are gamers now that like sexy women in video games are now not straight. Queer ideology adds no substance to gaming, and just the same, games based on lustful intent lack substance. Get the perverts out of gaming and just give us good games. So let's take a look at her stance on a very popular culture war game from a year ago called Stellar Blade.
She would be getting a lot of praise for her character design being different than what we typically see in female characters, because they didn't know, like, she's curvy, she's thick. Look how she's got thick thighs. Here's something else before I do that. This was funny. So Games Radar was complaining about Stellar Blade puts Eve in some incredibly stupid, sexy outfits that hurt the game's story. But despite the forced sex appeal, I actually love her detailed design. Dude, putting a girl in cute outfits, that's forced sex appeal. And so then they said, they call it the butt game. And then we have Rachel here who says Games Radar is shocked by the realization that when you look at a character from behind, you can see their butt, which is universal, also with male characters. So this is what the controversy about the bunny outfit with Stellar Blade, that we're trying to get to the bottom of this. So right now it's alleged that they patched this outfit. It's a swimsuit. It's not even, it's just normal. Like, this looks like something you would see at a beach. It's not even super revealing or anything like that. There's some cleavage and then it's high
Not
cut,
even super revealing.
To me, I don't think this is anything crazy.
So that makes it a problem, right? I mean, was she jumping on the Stellar Blade bandwagon because she was trying to get platformed from all the people that she would go on to call degenerates and perverts? Was that the intent? Or has she been indoctrinated in religion and has somehow lost the ability to rationally look at the world and see when something is sexy, not modest, and is attractive to men? Like, which one is it? It's only one of the two things. Can't be both of those. That doesn't make any sense. So you guys have to deal with this. This is the monster that you have created, and I stand by that. And again, no surprise to me. Melonie Mac makes money and farms outrage from all of you folks. And she has absolutely, in my opinion, used many of your channels to do this. She's not going to be the only one. People like her, John F. Trent, JDA, and now even Razorfist have admitted in text and some in video that this is their opinion of all this. And you guys have to deal with it.